upswing, yeah.
I would have tried to stay the hell away from it.
Well, that's what, I mean, that was it. That was the idea on this.
Oh, you know what? It's probably the budget book. I bet she's looking for these. Is that right? It's the budget book on there? Not these.
But that gets us our tour.
Okay, yeah, yeah, Aaron.
And he needed some.
I'm not trusting him no more. He's more downtown.
Ready? Ready to roll? I'm going to call the January 10th Budget Workshop to order. If you will all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Clerk, will you call the roll?
Will do. Alderman Redpath. Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Rockford.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman Notriano.
Here.
Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Conley.
Present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer. Mayor Busher.
Present.
A quorum.
Thank you,
present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And for the record, the treasurer is also present this evening. Welcome. Well, she was here, but anyway, she'll be here. I just want to welcome everybody to this evening's budget workshop, and want to thank the staff and the mayor for all the efforts that have gone into presenting this budget to us. And Mayor, I really appreciate the opportunity for each of us to sit down with you and your staff before the budget was even released and kind of get an overview, at least a snapshot of what to expect. That is appreciated. We've had now a couple weeks to look at the document, and I know there'll be 4 hearings total unless we need more. And then next month, we'll formally introduce the budget appropriation ordinance as a part of our regular process. We'll have a public hearing in which the public will have an opportunity, not only at committee, but at the public hearing to voice their concerns, put forward any questions or issues that they may have as a general public member. And then we'll, of course, hear the budget appropriation ordinance at a future council meeting. So we've had a lot of time here, but it is appreciated, and thank you for those efforts.
Thank you.
Before us tonight, when we get started here, we do have an overview by Ramona Metzger, our Office of Budget Management, and I appreciate you doing that. It's always good to see the kickoff. I will remind the directors that are up this evening and in the future hearings that our goal is to answer questions that council members have to go over what is new in the budget, what we can expect. In the past, we've had some long, arduous sessions where we've heard what people have done, departments have done over the last five years or so, and I don't think we need to do that. I do know we have new people, and I'm well aware that it always helps to have a little bit of history, but we don't want to go on too long, and I just appreciate us being succinct. And unless anybody has any questions, I'm just going to turn it over to Ms. Metzger, and thanks for being here.
I'm Ramona Metzger, and like Alderman Donlin said, I'm the Director of Office of Budget Management.
We usually do.
In order to have a mic, she'll need to go to the
Do we
podium.
normally set
Do you
up a
mind going to the
microphone?
podium?
Hold on, Ramon.
Hold on, he's got one.
First crisis of the hearing, so here we go.
You need to stand.
And see, problem solved already, thanks to the clerk's office.
Thanks, Dave.
I think the battery's dead.
It's green now.
May have to go to the podium now.
Is there anything over there
He may
that's
not have it
turned
on.
on?
We'll get Tony.
Why don't you go to the podium?
We'll get Tony
and
to turn it
that
on.
cordless mic working. Thank you.
It's on.
Slam it on the table.
Get the voice of God at you.
Again, I'm Ramona Metzger. I'm the Director of the Office of Budget and Management. And I would like to quickly introduce my staff. The budget staff, everyone here is new to the city. Miguel Valente has been here 1 year. Almost 1 year, okay, just shy of a year. And your title?
Financial plan analyst.
Financial planning analyst. And then we have Courtney Heinzel. She is a budget analyst. And I have Jeff Ajizi. He is the Fiscal Services Assistant Director. And our newest employee is Matt Johnson, and he is also a budget analyst. And then I also have behind us Jeff Blazes. He is the Division Manager for Revenue, and Mike Lesko, our purchasing agent. Our first slide, and I will try to be quick with this, but I've got to get a little bit of history in here for the corporate fund. Our corporate fund balance history is illustrated in this chart from 2010 through 2025 projected. One thing to note is that the 2024 original budget had an ending fund balance estimate at $28 million, but you can see that it is ending projected at $57 million. Our next slide has some corporate fund metrics from fiscal year 14 through fiscal year 25 projected, and it includes the end of year cash, the average daily balance of cash, the days negative for cash. The last time we were negative was in fiscal year 19 for 6 days. It gives the fund balance, the revenues, the expenses, and the fund balance as a percentage of expenses. And we have that charted as well. And you can see that after fiscal year 23, cash and, let's see, the fund balance has started to decrease. The next slide is comparable cities' tax rates. The yellow highlight, you will note that those rates are where Springfield is the lowest of our peers. The property tax rate for Springfield is at 9.385, and Springfield has no collections of the liquor, the natural gas, nor municipal MFT taxes. The combined
It's actually 0.985.
0.9. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 9.385.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Combined sales tax rate, the use tax and the hotel tax, we are at the highest rate amongst our peers. And one thing to note is Normal, Illinois, they did eliminate their vehicle use tax in the summer of 2023, leaving Bloomington as Springfield as the peer cities collecting vehicle taxes. In the categories of home rule sales tax, telecom tax, and hotel tax, we share the highest rate level among with some other peers. This chart shows the authorized positions of headcount, and we will delve deeper into further discussion with the individual department presentations. But to highlight from 2015 through fiscal year 24, the authorized headcount decreased by 95.5 full-time employees. The fiscal year 24 actual and fiscal year 25 proposed includes an increase of 10 in public works, including zone managers, and the fiscal year 24 actual and fiscal year 25 proposed fire increases include increased levels for the new firehouse required staffing and the sworn police levels, which will be at the necessary operating levels. And here I will do a brief overview of fiscal year 25. Fiscal year 25 resources by type, all funds are at $714 million, with user charges at 39.8% of that, which is the Department of Public Utilities and the sewer fund predominantly. Taxes are at 24.6%. And we have a use of fund balance, and then grants at 7.2%, and all other are less than 5%. Our fiscal year 25 expenses by agency are at $686.2 million. 46% of the total agency costs you will hear about. They detail or will be detailed when the utility presents on the last day of the hearings. The other notable departmental expenses include the Office of Budget Management, or by its acronym, OBM. It's the second largest agency at 16% of total city expenses, or $108 million. OBM includes such funds as the Capital Improvement Fund, the Capital Equipment Fund, Legacy Point, Northeast TIF, self-insurance, unemployment, as well as some other administrative funds. Public Works makes up 14% of the expenses, the Springfield Police Department 11%, and the Fire Department 8%. All others are 1% or under, or 3% or under, sorry. The fiscal year 25 resources by type, corporate. The corporate fund revenues are predominantly sales tax and state income tax, and that is at 51%. Use tax is at $4.5 million. PPRT, personal property replacement tax, is at $5 million, and those are found in the taxes share of statewide piece of the pie chart. 15% of the revenue is coming from the use of fund balance in the fiscal year 25 projected. Excuse me, I need to clean this. Okay. Our next slide shows the fiscal year 25 proposed expenses by cost center. And the largest citywide cost center is the personal service category, which is at 31% of the expenses. Next, the other operating lines are at 27%, and that includes commodities, equipment, and telecom. Contractual services account for 20%, and permanent improvements are at 15% of the total citywide expenditures. Our fiscal year 25 corporate expense by agency. The corporate expenses by agency include 36% at $72 million for the Springfield Police Department, 27% or $55 million for the Springfield Fire Department, 15% or $30 million for the Office of Budget Management, and $24 million or 12% for Public Works. And OPED accounts for 6%, the mayor's office 2%, and all other agencies are 1% or under. The fiscal year 25 corporate expense by cost center. Again, at the corporate expense cost center level, personnel expenses accounts for 64% of the pie, which is $130 million. Permanent improvements is at 7% at 14.5%, and oops, I'm not doing it in order. The other operating lines, which is again commodities and equipment and telecom, that is at $23.4 million, and the contractual is at 8%, $15.8 million. Operation of auto equipment, 4.4 or 2%. EDP, 3% at $6.8 million. Here I have a chart with the ARPA expenditures by department. The fire department, let me give a little brief history for those who don't know. $33.8 million was received by the American Rescue Plan Act for the state and local fiscal recovery funds. And that was related to COVID. And we received two tranches. The first tranche was received May of '21, and the second tranche received June of '22, for that total of $33,804,013. In fiscal year '22, $1.4 million was spent on the fire department to restore overtime budget. $200,000 was transferred to the motor vehicle parking operations for payroll, and $300,000 was used for Justine Peterson for a revolving loan program for small businesses. In, let's see, fiscal year '23, there was $2 million used for the purchase of fire trucks, and then in fiscal year '23 and the '24 estimate, there was a total of $3.8 million for firehouse land purchase and building or construction. There was also a traffic preempt system that is included in the '24, and a small portion also of that is included in '25 projected for $300,000. And for those who don't know, that allows fire trucks to maneuver through intersections quicker by controlling the traffic lights. The police department, they received in '23 and '24 $210,000 each year for license plate readers, and then there are also digital speed signs of $200,000 in fiscal year '24. Public Works for road improvements and sewer improvements, mainly the Northeast Sewer Project, which is bordered by Sangamon, 22nd, 19th, and Ridgely. It's an EPA mandate over 424 parcels. Those amounts plus the motor vehicle parking operations, which again for fiscal year '22 and '23 was a subsidy for payroll, that is $16.4 million in ARPA funds. The water fund has received, as you can see, will receive $6.2 million if the fiscal year '24 proposed budget is approved. That is water clean initiatives, lead lines. A big portion of that is the mandate for lead lines. The Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau, $1.1 million has been budgeted there or will be budgeted with the fiscal year '25. Oh, well, that was budgeted, sorry. If that is budgeted for fiscal year '25, sorry, $425,000 in remaining SCVB projects. The library elevator is $547,000, and that will be completed in fiscal year '25. And OPED has $500,000 in fiscal year '24 estimates for Pillsbury moving forward. However, there will be a floor amendment that will be moving into fiscal year '25. And the $600,000 that you see in the proposed for fiscal year '25 is for Old Town Apartments for the demolition. Highlighted expenses for the corporate fund. This 5-year chart shows annual expenditures that have occurred or reoccur in the corporate fund. For fiscal year '25, that includes previous commitments for the new firehouses. And the new firehouses, they were an initiative of the previous council, and that has accounted for $8.9 million and $13.2 of expenses in fiscal year estimate for '24 and '25 proposed. The equipment amounts were lower in previous years as financing occurred via equipment loans in the capital equipment fund. The city code transfers to the capital improvement fund, which transfers a portion to the capital equipment fund, plus the code transfer to the capital equipment fund. That pays the debt service on the 3 equipment loans that are outstanding that were borrowed during 2020 through 2023, with a total principal borrowed of $12.1 million. This past summer's June 29th derecho storm, the expenses to the corporate fund have amounted to $2.1 million, and the assistant chief accountant and I have been working with FEMA trying to recover 75% of that total, with 25% being a local match. However, at this time, there are no guarantees of recovery. The Department of Public Utility, their finance department, is also working with FEMA representatives. And their amount is not included here because this is just the corporate fund. For the transfer to motor vehicle parking, with the cessation of meters, it has led to subsidies to the motor vehicle parking fund for personnel costs. And in fiscal year 23, there was also a demolition cost of the ramp at 4th and Washington. Let's see. And that's it. This chart for fire and police funding estimates for public safety, it's a projection tool to illustrate a long-term path that property taxes no longer are covering the funding. So this slide, the data behind it has 3.5 pages of actuarial assumptions and limitations in an actuary's projection report. So it is based on estimates. Our pension fund audited history, these graphs, with the top being the police pension fund and the bottom being the fire pension fund, is 26 years of history, and it shows from fiscal year 98 through fiscal year 23 the asset growth. The police pension currently has audited assets of $195.2 million. And the fire pension fund has audited assets at fiscal year 23 of $155 million. And as you can see from these graphs, the asset values exceed the expenses. The unfunded liability is also a large estimated actuarial number. But keep in mind, these assets are growing. From fiscal year 98 to fiscal year 23, the average annual change in assets, the police was at 5.6 million and fire at 3.7 million in growth. For our public safety pension funding options, we have received 2 different actuarial reports. Lauterbach and Amon reports were commissioned by the pension boards, and that includes a statutory 90% funded amount as well as 100% funding by 2040. There was also a report commissioned by the Illinois Department of Insurance, which Foster & Foster prepared, and that includes only a statutory 90% funding by 2040. So you can see that for the 90% by Lauterbach and Amon, $13.8 million for the police pension, $14.6 for the fire pension, for a total of $28.5 million. And for 100% funding by 2040, we would need $16.8 million contributed to the police fund and $17.5 million for the fire pension fund, for a total of $34.3 million. The Foster & Foster report, as these are estimates by actuaries, the 90% funding amount does differ between Lauterbach and Amon and Foster & Foster. Foster & Foster's police report has funding level for 90% at $14.9 million and fire at $15.3 million, for a total of $30.2 million. State statute does specify that an enrolled actuary's report is what has to be used for this funding. So for fiscal year '25, we have prepared a corporate fund P&L, and this is at the 100% fire and police pension funding level. I know it's small. Important numbers would be the percentage of fund balance, or fund balance is a percentage of expenditures, sorry. For fiscal year '24 estimate, we are looking at 32.5% fund balance percentage. Fiscal year '25 will drop to 12.2%. Fiscal year '26 projected, based upon a 3% growth, would be at 5.1%. Fiscal year '27 projected, we are looking at a negative 4.9%. We also prepared the P&L at a 90% funding level using the Foster and Foster report. And again, the fund balance percentages of expenditures, '24 estimate is still at the 32.5%, obviously. And fiscal year '25 proposed would be at 14.3%, or not as proposed. If 90% were used, the proposed would be 14.3%. For fiscal year '26 projected, 7.5% fund balance percentage, and fiscal year '27 would be at a negative 2.6%. We also do have the third for Lauterbach and Amon funding, and that would put 14.6%, or 14.6% for the fund balance for fiscal year '25 projected, 11.1% at the fiscal year '26 projected, and 4.1% for fiscal year '27 projected. Our city code does state that we are to maintain an 8% fund balance, and Government Finance Officers Association, their best practice recommendation is 2 months of expenditures, which calculates out to be about 16.5%. So, does anyone have any questions for the overview, or are you ready to?
Alderman Hanauer.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. I don't like the numbers, the fund balance ending. Kind of mentioned that last year, that that was my concern. Based on this, there's no way we can do 100% of the pension. There's no way. That would put us at 12.2, 11%, folks. We take a chance of not meeting payroll. Think about that. Of not meeting payroll. That means it's great to hire all these new people, but we're in bad shape here. I'm not trying to scare people, but you look at the 3-year trend. I mean, either you do one of two things: you cut or you raise taxes. Who wants to make the decision to raise the property tax or whatever? Any new initiatives that we have, or anybody that wants to bring any new initiatives, where are you going to cut from? Because there's no room. If we have 12.2%, I guarantee you, during the year there'll be another 1 or 2% that we usually find that we missed something, or something comes up, and that's exactly what's happened the last few years. If we go the 90%, that gives us a little bit of room at 14.3 or something like that. But that still doesn't give us room for a lot of new initiatives or anything any amendments you want to bring forward to try to spend money. It gives us nothing. So, I will say this to the directors that are coming up: any new initiatives, you better think hard whether you're going to allow it. And I would ask the mayor to really, clamp down on it, because, quite frankly,
We probably, this scares me. We probably ought to send them back and say, you got to cut 2% across the board. Figure it out. I mean, this is, we can't be at 7.5% next year. Can't be it. You just can't do it. So that's where we are. And, you know, it's great. We got to spend a lot of money last year. Got to do, and, you know, and we had the ARPA funds and all that. And, but this is a situation we're in. And, you know, we can raise salaries, we can do this and that, which we've done, and that's great. But we're going to have a hard time hiring too many more people because we just can't afford it. So I'm just saying, I think we ought to go forward with the 90% because 100% puts us in grave danger of not meeting payroll. And as much as I hate to not do the full 100, that's where we're at. Unless somebody has some other ideas.
Do we have a button to press on here or something?
Yeah.
I don't see mine.
It's in the,
Yeah, there's a couple of other aldermen that wish to speak, but before they do, you know, Alderman Hanauer is absolutely right. I mean, we get closer to that 10% fund balance, we can't make payroll. And one of the things that I'd like to see if it hasn't been done, and, you know, looking at the actual numbers here this evening, we did this exercise a few years ago where we had, you know, the departments typically put in the full year's, as an example, salary of individuals that they anticipate hiring. And I think we need to take a hard look at the realistic timeline of those vacancies that occur, that are out there for this present proposed year. And if we don't anticipate, as an example, hiring somebody until, you know, halfway through the fiscal year, then we can cut out that expenditure. And because we need, even on paper, we need to, when in situations when we get that fund balance low, the first step is to slow down hiring, be realistic on the expense lines that we have, and, you know, taking a look at those things before we start cutting programs and things that people need, quite frankly, in the community. So I would just encourage the departments, because of these numbers, to take a look, a hard look, because I know at least a few of us, if not all of us, will be taking a look at it also, of what vacancies are out there and when you really expect to hire them. Because if it's not the full year, why put in the full year? Because Alderman Hanauer is also right. We do have expenses that come up throughout the year. We have all these supplemental appropriations. What I worry about also, and I'll turn it over to my colleagues to ask questions, what I worry about also is another derecho or another storm, some unforeseen expenditure that is of major value. The derecho is over $2 million. Hopefully we get it back, but that's with our fingers crossed. So anyway, I don't mean to diminish. I know you've put a lot of hard work and I know made a lot of cuts already. Because no department gets what they bring to the mayor's office. That's just not how it works. But anyway, next on the agenda to ask questions is Alderman Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for tonight. I just have a few questions, and I do know in our meetings the mayor did make some tough decisions and didn't give some departments all they wanted. So we do know she's been wrestling with that. I just have a few questions here. Ms. Ramona, on the ARPA expenditures, I know you said $600,000 is going out to Old Town, and the $500,000, where was that? Where was Alec? Pillsbury moving forward. Thank you. Thank you. My other question, Ms. Ramona, was I noticed your budget, and I'm sure there's an explanation for this, was higher than Public Works budget. Do you have some extra?
That's because Office Budget Management includes various other funds, such as the Capital Improvement Fund, the Capital Equipment Fund, Legacy Point,
Thank you.
Northeast TIF, Self-Insurance Fund, that's a big one.
Now let me ask you this: was it previously housed differently? Okay, and that's why we're seeing the
part of Department 107.
Okay, and the reasoning for that, I know we had talked a little bit about easier to pay some things with certain things being in your office.
That was the grants.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the grants. We moved the HUD grants.
Could
to
you
make
please hold the
those
mic up,
easier to pay.
Ramona?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
The HUD grants, we did move those out of individual funds.
Okay.
But that is economic development. And those are all housed in the corporate fund now.
Okay.
Because
But
they
it's-
are reimbursement.
But essentially, like, the capital improvement funds, things like that would be housed in Public Works and so there, or have they always been housed in your?
They are housed in OBM.
Okay.
There is a portion
Okay.
in Department 110. with
Yes, ma'am.
Public Works, Fire, Police for capital equipment
Okay.
and capital improvement fund.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. In your honest opinion, and, you know, I've only really been taught to read these budgets a couple ways, and really it's the bottom line. And, you know, I agree with Alderman Hanauer. You know, 12% is tight, you know, and I'll say I'm a fan of funding our pension at 100%. And I say that because we have had such success in doing that. You know, we've paid extra payments. We've allocated new funds to the pension payments. And for us to go back to 90%, I just think that wouldn't be the best. So definitely we'll look at some things and try to move some things around and make this work. You know, and lastly, you know, with some of the reallocations from the ARPA funds, you know, there's about $10 million in there, and we've reallocated it in some ways. You know, I'm definitely concerned that OPED hasn't received a lot of that. We've done a lot of good things with our American Rescue Funds, from firehouses to police and Springfield tourism, but we haven't invested a lot into the actual people in workforce development and housing from that particular ARPA funds. And that does trouble me a little bit. I thank you for the breakdown. I understand it a little more. But I am a strong supporter of funding the pension at 100%. And I thank the mayor for giving us a look at both 90 and 100 and what it looks like. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Is that it, Alderman Gregory?
Yes.
Alderwoman Conley.
Thank you, Chair. Can you hear me okay, Director? My first question may not actually be appropriate for you. It may be Director Fuchs, but what was, you mentioned that Public Works deratio expenses were not included in the corporate fund. Do you have an estimate of how much those were?
That was the Department of Public Utilities.
Oh, utilities, okay.
Public Works is the debris. I believe the debris is like, it's the bulk of the 2.1 million.
And what do we have from the utility, do you know?
Utility is, I believe it's
You can just give me ballpark.
6 million right now.
Okay. The other question I had, well, partially, I just want to say, I want to actually congratulate this administration and the prior administration. I think we've made much better use of grant funds throughout with the city. I think managing those, my concern is that there's a significant amount of oversight, reporting, and record keeping that goes along with that. So are you intending to continue to have departments manage that, or?
We do have a person in the proposed budget who would be split between economic development and OBM. And that person would oversee the grant reporting at.
Mrs. Metzger, if I've been told to ask if you could hold that all the way up to your mouth like you're on The Voice.
You wouldn't
All the way
hear
up.
me sing.
Yeah.
If you don't sing, I won't sing, and we'll all be good. Everyone will be better for that.
So that person would be a shared person between OBM and OPED, where the OBM responsibilities would be the reporting and making sure that all the reporting is followed. And the OPED portion of that person would be like a grant manager. Is that, yes.
Thank you. And I thought I had seen that, so I just want to say I think that is, given the significant portion of our budget that grants are starting to take. I mean, 7% is significant. I appreciate that has been taken into consideration for this next budget year. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that it, Alderwoman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I believe that before Alderman Williams pushed his button, Alderwoman Purchase, you mentioned that you wanted, no, okay.
That's okay.
Okay. Alderman Williams.
Your name. Thank you, sir. Real quick, so, you know, I mean, you're the professional. As Sean has said, you know, we just trying to learn to read through this stuff. But in your professional opinion, considering the revenue sources or the revenue that may be coming, is this budget sustainable?
No.
No. Oh, thank you for your honesty. Okay, so, because I'm like others, I have some concerns on, I guess, the impact on the fund, of course. And, I mean, what will we do if we run out? How will we pay for things? In your opinion, the professional.
In my opinion,
I mean, I know what I think.
I mean, we definitely would need to drop down to the lowest pension funding, which would be at the 90% of the two 90% reports. We would, if we weren't able to make payroll, I mean, at some point, we'd have to make some really hard decisions. And I don't want to have to make those decisions. I'm glad that you get to
You gonna
make
make
those
us?
decisions.
Okay. Thank you, thank you.
Alderwoman Purchase?
Nope, I'm still gonna wait.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for the budget director while she and her team are up here?
Well, I take that back.
Yes, ma'am.
Ramona, is there some recommendations you may be able to bring forward, especially since you just said we won't make it? I know I wrote down, like you said, we gotta have 2 months of expenditures to meet the 16 and a half. So would you be kind to bring us back some recommendations, since you put all this together and did very well with explaining it briefly?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
And can you or any of your departments provide us a list of the present vacancies
Yes, we can do that.
citywide? Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll just move right along. Next up, and we'll give the clerk's office a few minutes to pull up the document. So why don't we take maybe a 3-minute break, and we'll come back, and the next up will be the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
I'm cold.
3 minutes, thank you.